So I tend to employ a lot of people with refugee and asylum background because I myself had an asylum background. So we moved here 2008 to the UK. Me and my family came to the UK and we were asylum seekers. I know what it feels like to be from a background whereby your skills are not utilized. And I know a lot of people, and a lot of people I've met through Suffolk refugee who has amazing skills, either seamstressing or web development or graphic designers, that because of maybe language barriers or family backgrounds, they are not able to pursue the roles in those fields. So they have to go for a job whereby it doesn't really fulfill them and it doesn't also utilize their skills. So that's why with the business, my seamstress is Sabra, and she's a lovely lady from Afghan, and she lives close by to me. And then my website was done by Lisa, which was a refugee from Ukraine. So it's just trying to bring that sense of community, which I've been a part of for the longest time. And I know that just because someone doesn't speak your language doesn't mean they don't, or they lack the skills.
We headed 85 miles north of London to Ipswich, Suffolk, and met sustainable lingerie designer Maria Callisto, who runs a unique, refugee-led business, placing community at the heart of everything she does. Originally from Nigeria, Maria moved to the UK with her family when she was 11 years old, and from an early age discovered a real passion for fashion design, spending most of her free time sketching and sewing. Maria went on to study fashion design in Suffolk and later specialised in a lingerie pattern cutting course at the London College of Fashion. Her designs are inspired by nature and emotions with flattering and timeless silhouettes.
So your first collection was the Love Journal. Can you tell me about the pieces and what was from the start to the finish?
So the first collection was actually the Flutter Slip. It is supposed to represent the stages where you have a crush, where you have butterflies in your stomach, and so that's why...
That's literal as well, honestly.
Yeah, you literally have butterflies on your stomach. So it's just supposed to convey those feelings of being anxious and excited to see someone. And butterfly comes a lot of my collections because I received, was donated lace, like a lot of lace with butterflies appliques on it. So I've used them a lot, especially on this. So this is 100% silk chamois, and this is an butterfly applique reclaimed. So the next stage was Sweet Kisses, which is like a first kiss. And then we have Not So Secret Affair, which is this. So it's the sexy kind of stages of your relationship. But the more I got to know about my customers and the more I make stuff and the more the brands being out, we've discovered that a lot of our customers are more comfortable in the slips, which are something like this, the chemise and the slips. So the silk is made and then the applique is sewn on and then later cut off, which I'm in the process of doing. The lace is also hand dyed as well. And it's the same lace as this.
Why lingerie?
Okay, so that's a funny story. I've always been into fashion design and I do alterations, and I studied fashion design in college, and I was waiting to either go to uni or get an apprenticeship, but they're all in London and I didn't know anyone in London at that time. So my older sister, Teresa, she bought some underwear, some panties on eBay, and they were like the lace one. And they were literally like one seam holding them all together. I was like, you could easily make this. So I was like, yeah, I could easily make this. So I wanted to make panties and sell it on eBay. And then I found about Etsy. And then I was like, you know what, why if I add a matching bralette, if I add this, if I add that, and that's how lingerie came about.
And how long did it take to build up a consumer base?
It took around 2 years, because even till now, I'm still trying to get people to know it's a new brand and there's a lot of new products and new brands coming up. So it's about finding the people that know about you and want to support you and actually know about your brand.
So you were telling me how your first collection started with the crush. Can you show me a little bit and talk me through the stories?
The love journal is supposed to represent different stages of your relationship. So from having a crush to when you get married. So the whole line of, well, the idea of a romantic relationship. And this was mostly inspired by this lace applique, and it has inspired a lot of my designs. So this is 100% silk chamois, and this is the reclaimed lace.
So why did you choose to use the butterfly?
I just resonate with butterflies. I feel like they transform from a cocoon and transform into a butterfly. And also they have the freedom of a butterfly. Like you can never see a butterfly caged kind of thing, and it kind of represents migrations. So they have no limitation to where they could go, and that's why it resonates with butterfly. And I feel like they might be my spirit animals.
Oh, really?
Or spirit insects.
So your brand also has an ethical background. You also employ refugees and asylum seekers in your business. Can you tell me why that's important to you and why you started doing that?
So I tend to employ a lot of people with refugee and asylum background because I myself had an asylum background. So we moved here 2008 to the UK. Me and my family came to the UK and we were asylum seekers. And we've had a lot of support from our local communities, which is Suffolk Refugee Support as well as Turn. So they've helped me, especially with the beginning of my business. And I know what it feels like to be from a background whereby your skills are not utilized. And I know a lot of people, and a lot of people I've met through Suffolk Refugee who has amazing skills, either seamstressing or web development or graphic designers, that because of maybe language barriers or family backgrounds, they are not able to pursue the roles in those fields. So they have to go for a job whereby it doesn't really fulfill them and it doesn't also utilize their skills. So that's why with the business, my seamstress is Sabra, and she's a lovely lady from Afghan, and she lives close by to me, but she has a family and she has little kids. So she does some of my sewings. And then my website was done by Lisa, which was a refugee from Ukraine. So it's just trying to bring that sense of community, which I've been a part of for the longest time. And I know that just because someone doesn't speak your language doesn't mean they don't, or they lack the skills. So that's why it's important.
No, that's really beautiful and commendable.
I'm just doing my part and what I feel is right. So it doesn't feel like a mission or like a social mission to me. It just feels like it makes sense to me.
It's natural.
Yeah.
And you also started Trinity project. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
So Trinity project started off with one of our knickers, so it's one of our briefs, and I wanted to make a panties that is comfortable when you're on your period. So it's to normalize menstruation and also to highlight period poverty. We were lucky enough to host two workshops last year to talk about menstruation, what happens in your body. A lot of the women ask personal questions, intimate questions that they're not comfortable to, or they've just had curiosity about and wanted to know more.
So what's the future for Trinity Project? Are you still doing workshops?
I want to continue doing the workshops. I want to continue having these conversations about menstruation and menstrual health. And I also want to highlight period poverty. So we were able to donate to 30 women in Lebanon refugee camps. So we reached out to the Pashmana Project and we were able to donate period products, pads and hygiene products as well. And I would like to continue doing that. I have a high school in my village in Nigeria, which is called the Nanka High School, which I want to be able to donate some period products to the girls there as well.
You are a sustainable brand, and why is it actually important for you to be sustainable?
I always say that I'm one person. I cannot end world hunger. I cannot cause world peace. But I could, with my actions, not contribute to it. And that's why with my lingeries, I'm very mindful of what I make. And I make sure that whatever I make has a customer or an owner to go, a home to go to. And I try to use all the fabrics and materials that is accessible to me, either by going through other seamstresses remnants or looking for fabrics in charity shops or online or bundles or even like recycling other elements of clothing that I could use. You mentioned about the butterflies appearing in most of my collection. That was actually a lace fabric that was given to me by a late family friend of mine called Julie. So she gave my mom actually the lace, and this lace has a lot of butterflies in it, but it was like a whole yard of fabric. And I cut them up and I added them to this. So if you see it, you wouldn't think it was from a long roll of fabric. So it's one of those things that there's beauty in a lot of things.
Exactly.
Sometimes you just need to cut it up sometimes.
You have to find the beauty in things, it's true. So I hear a lot, like there's a lot of family in your business. Is it like a lot of help from family and family friends, or?
I like to think that, I do it myself, but I think running a business needs a good support system, and I'm grateful I have a good support system. Like my mom allowed me to do this in the back of our house, and my sister's been a huge supporter of the business. She basically brought the idea. So I've had a lot of people that I could depend on emotionally, and now my little sister, whenever I have like a lot of orders or something, she helps me.
So why is made to order important to you?
It allows the customers to be involved with the creation of the product. So I feel like if you are more involved in the decision making, then you could customize it to however you want, and you'll be able to wear it longer, and you'll have much more of a connection with that piece. There's a lot of fast fashion and there's a lot of things you could get easily, but it will never be to your preference. I have a core collection now, so if you want one of the pieces but you want it in a different color, or you want a bit longer and you want to send in your measurement to have the perfect fit for you, so that is what I mean in terms to made to order. But with the bridal service, it's completely from start to finish. So you'll be involved in the design process, the shopping for extra fabrics, every other process. So you'll be involved in all this journey.
Tell me a little bit more about how that works and the reusable fabrics you're using in that.
So the bridal service is an extension of Maria Callisto. We wanted to be able to give women a bespoke experience. So I know a lot of people during alterations, when they're shopping for the wedding dress, they get lace cutouts, or some people have like a special fabric, like a mother's wedding dress or grandmother's wedding lace or something. So this is an opportunity for my customers to be involved in the experience of making their own lingerie that they could wear on a honeymoon or something, special occasion. And there's another aspect of the bridal service, which is to bring in an old wedding dress. So maybe you've gotten married 5-10 years ago and you have a wedding dress that you don't know what to do, and you want to kind of recycle it. I would say recycle, maybe revamp it into something small and something that still holds that sentiment, but in a small form, in a lingerie form. So that is where the bridal service came up.
Okay. It's such a great idea, because you're giving new life to something that's so special to someone as well.
I think lingerie is so much fun and it's so intimate. It's something that you could wear for yourself. You don't necessarily have to wear it for others, but you also have the option to wear it for other people. So in my time, I feel like lingerie is like your own world, whereby if you're wearing something, you don't have to show it, and only you know. Just think about the feeling you get when you're wearing matching underwear. Like strangers don't know that, but you know it and you feel good about yourself. Or whenever you go to a bed with like a silk set.
Yeah, it's nice.
And it's just, it's just that emotion that I feel like lingerie does have and carries. So that I really like that feeling that you get when you wear a good pair of lingerie.